Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division in the Easter Open Tournament. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. So let's go! Before I take my first shot, check down in the video description down below for the link to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. There you can sign up, get the updated text guides that is out always for patrons on Tuesdays during tournament week. If you do get the updated text guide, those will be my information to you on how to take every shot in this tournament, detailed information. So let's go. The drive here on hole number 1 is going to be played downhill. So we're going to play 20% extra. The easiest way to do that is to add it to the wind. And as our opponent bounced over the bunker, which is one way to go, I'm going to play the rough bump. So you're getting 2 ideas on how to play this hole. You don't have to play with a power 3 ball, but the reason I'm playing with a power 3 ball is to get myself the distance already from the beginning. You can definitely play with a power 2 or a power 1 ball as well. So I'm going for the rough bump, max side spin to the right, 4.5 bar side spin, and also 1 bar of top spin. And if you're going to bounce over the bunker, you will have to use at minimum 2.5 bar backspin, and that will put yourself up there to where our opponent was, and then it's going to be easy to ship it in. Now we are in the green, we're gonna take it, we're gonna putt it in and take that eagle. And even though you bounce over the bunker, and as you can see that you're gonna go short over the bunker, then you're still gonna have no problem whatsoever to ship that one in. Hole number 2, par 5. Here we're going to play on the left side. Even though that the drive on the left is a little bit harder, we do want to play on the left due to that it gives us the best chance for an albatross. Playing on the right is basically to say that, okay, I'm just gonna take my eagle, I'm not gonna bother about the albatross. But I do always want to find and give you an idea and an alternative to go for the maximum score possible on all the courses that I'm making guides on. So our opponent going right, good shot though, reaching way far there. And I think that if you're going to play to the right, that's what you have to do. You will have to try to gain as much distance possible there to the right. I'm using a power 3 ball, a max top spin, which is 4.5 bars, and 4.5 bar side spin to the right, trying to get in between the rough there on the other side. Stretching out to try to visualize where my ball is going to bounce for the second time and also for the third time and so on. Stretch it out, and I'm going to adjust 1.5 rings. And then I'm going to see, I do need a little bit of overpower. I'm going to use a tiny bit of overpower to this shot. With this ball perfect, I'm gonna get this ball to roll nicely down there on the fairway. And you know, you don't have to go with more overpower than that. In some cases, if we do have a stronger wind, we don't have to go with any type of overpower. And sometimes we are maybe gonna have a driver that gives us more distance than extra level 5, and then we're not gonna have to go with overpower as well. But have it in mind at least that with a lower level extra mile, we do need a smidge of overpower. Our opponent here can go directly at the pin from the right due to the fact that he played a very nice drive. If going like with a normal drive on the right and to just lay up, then the trees are going to be in play, or like we're going to be in our way as well. So in that way is also, in my opinion, that's why we should see the left side. The drive, we do need to over adjust 10%. Very important. So you do need to over adjust, and once again you add 10% to the wind that you're having, then you adjust normal for the new wind that you're getting there. So look here now, look how open and a perfect shot that we are having for the albatross here. Straight shot with our Viper in medium distance of our club. Going to use 1 bar of backspin, and I'm gonna aim straight at the pin. No over or under adjustment whatsoever. So I'm going to adjust it out there, approximately 1.7 rings. Well, 0.5, 1.7. I'm gonna get it to the fairway to bounce it up and the roll, roll, roll. Get in, get it, get it, get it, get it. Oh, so close. So close, but there you can see how good that opportunity is. Okay, hole number 3, downhill 20%. So we're going to have to add 20%. 2.5 bar backspin. Look at the blue ring here. Blue ring just half away down the bunker to the right, with a smidge of it halfway, like down to the left. And then we're going to go with maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment. We're just going to give ourselves 1.8 rings, aiming slightly left at the pin. And as you can see here as well, using a basic ball. Why do I use a basic ball? The reason I'm using a basic ball is because we don't need side spin, we don't need curl, we don't need to reduce the wind more. We can just take our shot, and it always feels nice to make an hole-in-one with a basic ball. So while our opponent is taking his shot, you can also see in the video description down below where you can get the timestamps for the specific holes in this playthrough. So if you don't want to watch hole number 3, you can go directly, or you can go back to hole 1, you can go up to hole 7, you can do whatever, you know. So, and here, once again, this is a course where we can save our power balls, so we don't have to play with anything with power. Choose a basic ball, save the others. Hole 4, we come directly into the action. We're going to use a quarterback. We're going to use a quasar. The quasar, due to that it gives us side spin to the right. Max top spin with the quarterback level 6 that I'm having. It's 3 bars top spin. So 3 bars top spin, 4.5 bars side spin to the right. And then we're gonna go with half a ball of curl outside the adjustment range to the right. And then we're gonna take our shot. We're gonna want to get our ball down there. We don't have to push it too hard, even though we do have a little bit of tailwind. The more important part is that we do get it on fairway, so we're not getting it into the rough as our opponent got here. If you do get into the rough or into the sand, it is important that you do just play yourself up to the green. See it as a way to lose the eagle opportunity if you do, because if you're trying to push it and bounce on the fairway just before the fringe, that one is very tough and it's going to, in some cases, put yourself back down into the sand again. So, now I have the thorn, and the thorn level 4 here doesn't really matter if you have it in level 1 or level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're gonna aim for the back of the cup. Back end of the cup, super important, as you otherwise gonna fall short. So we do need to go for the back end of the cup. We're going to adjust 1 ring for this shot. Max backspin, so if we do hit a great left, great route, and we miss pin, and that we're gonna then stay on the green. Have in mind that when you go for the dunk here, it definitely gives you the best possible eagle opportunity, but you have always a risk on hitting the pin, and that could potentially put yourself down into the sand, which we don't want to, but something that I at least want to say. So please, study that adjustment carefully. If you do not feel confident going for the dunk, then you're just laying up. Hole number 5. Hole number 5 is a par 5. And here, we're just gonna make sure to go as far as possible. If you have been lucky to win, well, maybe not just lucky, but skilled to win some berserker balls in the golden shot, I think that could be a very wise and good idea to choose a berserker ball here. Because then you will gain a little bit more distance than that we got here with a power 3 ball. Also for the second shot, it's going to make it easier for you to reach for the green. This is going to be a hole where we do need to make an eagle, so you do want to be prepared for that. A power 3 ball is the minimum that I want you to play with, so we go with max topspin and max side spin to the right, and also max overpower with the drive. This is gonna leave ourselves up with a big dog in approximately this type of situation. And here you can see we do have a very tough shot going for the pin, and that's not something that we're gonna focus on. We're just going to lay up here, trying to find a spot where the ball is going to bounce, so we can bounce ourselves towards the green. As long as we just get it to green, we're gonna be fine, and we're gonna get the ball up there and have a putt for the eagle. So here in rookie, it's only for us to secure that eagle, which is gonna definitely give us an advantage over our opponents. See, we bounce there on the fairway, coming in with 5 bars topspin, with as much side spin to the right possible, and we slide nicely down to the green, and we're gonna have a putt here to give ourselves a shot here for the eagle. Hole number 6. Hole number 6, we can once again play with a power 0 ball. Here I would like you to play with a Marlin though, as we do have wind left to right, and if we do have a basic ball, we will be having to play dangerously close to the rough on the left, like our opponent is doing now, basically, with the target. I hope... Okay. And that's not something that we do want to do. We do want to give ourselves room using a little bit of side spin to the left. And that's going to be much helpful. We're going to have to over-adjust our first shot with 10% here. And of course, we're not going to over-adjust with this, a putt or something like that. But 10% extra, and we are going to be in minimum distance. It is super important that you pick a ball that gives you power 0 if you want to play with a wood club, which I would prefer to do than playing with a long iron. Aiming straight at the pin, using 2.5 bar side spin, half of the blue ring inside the rough there to the left, and then we're going to adjust this one for 2 rings. And then we're gonna take our shot, no curl. And you can see here the ball is going to bounce itself very nicely here towards the pin. We might are using a little bit too much of topspin. Might going to reduce playing just 1 for the next time. But in the end we secure the birdie easily. Hole number 7. Par 4. And here it's time to play with a Marlin again. We are going to go for the rough bump while we approach the pin. And therefore I don't need any side spin on my ball, as we do have a straight wind. If you do not want to go for the rough bump, I would consider yourself playing with a power 1 ball and side spin 2, which is a quasar. One thing to have in mind here as well, if you do have an extra mile level 4, 5, 6, maybe lower, you don't have to move your target from max position of your club. You just have to apply topspin, which is 4.5 bars, and then you're just gonna leave it there. The wind is gonna do the rest. That's gonna help us, as we don't have to adjust for the wind in basically any form. So our opponent here is going to use an Apocalypse 1. And you know, even though you might maybe have a lower level Apocalypse or something like that, I would prefer you going with an extra mile on this par 4. So our opponent's gonna drive very, very far, gotta get it into the rough. Please be aware of that. Just go with control so you don't have to go into the rough there. 10% extra for the drive if you're going to make an adjustment. So I'm gonna go for the rough bump here. It's gonna be a tough one, and we're going to be in medium distance. The thing that you will have to do here is that you have to under adjust your shot 40% for 0. Yes, and the reason that is so high is because we're going to, when we adjust for tailwind here, we're gonna drop from a lower point to a lower point to a lower point, and therefore we're gonna lose more and more distance, and that is the reason why we're going to play that one uphill 40%. You can see we bounced that very, very, very close to just getting stuck in the bunker. Uphill 40%, then you're gonna be good with the rough bump. If you don't feel comfortable going with the rough bump, you're playing on the left side of the bunker and you curl it into the green. That's what I said in the beginning. Then it's important to go with a ball with that do have some side spin. So now we come into hole number 8. Please don't do what our opponent is doing, because the problem going and bouncing over the bunker here is that we are getting the bunker so much in play, and when we do have tailwind, it's also very easy to get this ball to bounce way further and roll down to the other end of the green. And rolling down here like our opponent is doing, you can see it rolls, it rolls, it rolls. It's still not gonna be an easy putt, which is gonna require that you hit this putt perfect, otherwise you're gonna miss. And that's always a little bit trickier to know that you have to hit it perfect than when you know that you can actually hit a great and still get it in the hole. 4.5 bar side spin with the Quasar, 2.5 bar backspin, or like 3 bars backspin with the Viper here, using the blue ring by the bunker to the right, a smidge of it falling down into the sand with a second bounce just by the fringe. And now we're going to adjust for medium distance of our club with a 20% over adjustment. Last but not least, we're going to apply half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right. And you can see it coming in and bouncing in very, very nicely. We just missed it to the right. So for the next time, we're going to just take ourselves to use a little bit less curl. Hole number 9, here you can come directly into the action. Here you're going to use a driver that gives you distance or a driver that gives you a lot of topspin. So you can choose from the extra mile a power 3 ball or a big topper and a power 3 ball. A big topper you will have to have in at least level 3 if you don't have to go with overpower. So if you do have a big topper in a lower level, like level 1, level 2, and you have an extra mile level 5, I would consider the extra mile as the better club to go with, as it is easier to play with a smidge of overpower with an extra mile than it is with a big topper. You will have to over adjust your drive 10%. That is very important because it plays downhill and therefore the ball is going to be affected more by the wind. Second shot is going to be from the fairway. I'm using the Saturn here actually because I'm in between clubs. One thing that is important though as well is to play with a power 3 ball, especially for the drive, so we get ourselves bouncing down there on the fairway, so we're not having to struggle going to a so we're not gonna struggle and put ourselves in the rough or into the sand and then not be able to reach. For the second shot, I'm over adjusting my shot 5%, only 5, and that's gonna make this one come in very nicely. We're just gonna go short, but this is a tough one to get in the hole as the green and the fairway is very bumpy. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was the playthrough for Rookie Division in the Easter Open tournament. If you do like the video, please take your time, hit thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the Easter Open tournament.